What is up, Cobra Kai fans? Welcome back to another Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2 related video. During Inside the Dojo, where the cast and crew discussed Part 1 extensively and gave us little snippets for Part 2, there were plenty of shots from Part 2 that definitely caught my attention, but one of them that is probably towards the top of my list in terms of curiosity is the shot we see of John Kreese. We see him with a very concerned look on his face, and his hands are kind of almost in a praying motion. And this is definitely interesting because I don't think we've ever seen a look of this amount of worry on Kreese's face before. He's one of those guys that seems and tries to be always one step ahead of his opponents. So I definitely think that something must have happened that he was not expecting and throws a wrench into his quest to win the Sekai Taikai under Cobra Kai. But what could be causing Kreese to be reacting this way? I certainly think it's a new but familiar threat that's going to emerge at the tournament that Daniel, Johnny, and even Kreese especially was not expecting. Because who's that one character that's appeared in the most recent seasons of Cobra Kai and was essentially at the forefront of those seasons, but was unfortunately and very noticeably absent from Part 1 of Season 6? That's right, I'm talking about the one and only Terry Silver. I think that they're going about Terry Silver's character in Season 6 almost the exact way that they went about John Kreese's character in Season 5. They have him be noticeably absent and forgotten about in the first half of the season. And just like in Season 5, John Kreese didn't reappear in Cobra Kai until Episode 6 of Season 5. And I think that's exactly what they're planning here with Terry Silver in Season 6. I think he's going to be turning up in most of, if not all of Part 2, because they wanted us to kind of forget about Terry Silver for now. The new threat for Part 2 was set up with Sensei Kim's dojo with Kreese and Kim at the forefront, and even introduced Master Kim to further divert our attention from Terry Silver. And if you think about it, it makes total sense that Terry Silver does appear in Part 2 at the Sekai Taikai, because if you remember from Season 5, entering Cobra Kai and getting involved in this global tournament of the Sekai Taikai, that was all originally Terry Silver's plan and, most importantly, Terry Silver's dream. Because he's got no children, he's got no family, he's got only Cobra Kai and winning this tournament as his legacy. Accomplishing this feat has been on Terry Silver's mind for almost 40 years now. Because if you also remember, he introduced this notion and idea all the way back to Kreese in the 80s when they were last in Korea, but Kreese turned down Terry Silver's offer because he ultimately wanted to focus on Johnny and making sure he turned out to be the best student that he could be. But we all know how that turned out. It couldn't have turned out worse than John Kreese had envisioned. But I do firmly believe that that shot of Kreese in the Part 2 snippet from Inside the Dojo, I think that's him seeing Terry Silver for the first time, probably since the end of Season 4's finale, where he got him arrested for falsely accusing him of assaulting Stingray. So not only was it a big shock and surprise for Daniel and Johnny seeing Kreese at the tournament, as well as the surprise that Tori joined Kreese, there's even another surprise that's going to come to a shock to Daniel, Johnny, and now even Kreese with Terry Silver popping up at the tournament. I don't really know what plans he's going to have and what he's got up his sleeve, but like I said earlier on in the video, John Kreese tries to be at least one step ahead of his enemies. Terry Silver is just like that, but tenfold. He probably likes to be 10 steps ahead of his enemies. And it's not really a debate that Terry Silver would eventually be returning in Season 6 at some point. Yes, John Kreese is the OG Karate Kid, big bad guy, but Terry Silver, in my opinion, is definitely the better villain, and he wasn't going to go down without even more of a fight after all that happened in Seasons 5 and 4 for him. And he's got the best lawyers money can buy, and if you really want to take it a step further, I've talked about it in countless other previous videos of mine that Terry Silver, essentially on paper, did nothing wrong that could actually convict him of a long-term crime and a long-term sentence into a federal prison. The only thing that they could really throw at him is that he rigged a high school karate tournament, which honestly, at the end of the day, you can't get arrested or really sentenced for anything like that. It's really a petty I don't even think it's a crime if you think about it. But even if Terry Silver was actually guilty of a big crime, he's got the lawyers that can really help diminish that sentence. But because that's not the case, Terry Silver is definitely going to be returning, I think, in Season 6 Part 2, and it's going to throw a wrench into the entire thing for both Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai winning this thing. But guys, that's going to do it for this video I have for you today. Be sure to let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think is causing John Kreese this stress and worry at the tournament? Do you think it's Terry Silver, or do you think it's a whole different situation that I didn't even think of? Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure that you're a subscriber to my channel if you want to stay up to date with everything when it comes to Cobra Kai Season 6 and the rest of the Miyagi-verse. Leave a like on the video if you got something I did today, and if you didn't, change it to a dislike. Any feedback greatly helps out my channel with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks again all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. No mercy.